Email servers, who thought they'd be a defining presidential issue in 2016? Hillary Clinton's well-chronicled troubles with emails as Secretary of State led to the FBI declaring that they would not recommend charges against her, but Congress decided there will be hearings on the subject. Donald Trump, who should be anointed the GOP nominee a week from now in Cleveland, had a few things to say about that, as well as mosquitoes, another presidential topic I didn't expect to be there. Joining me to make some sense of all of this is Michael Cook and Sarah Huckabee Sanders, contributors to Talk Business and Politics. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Let's begin with Hillary's week, Michael. I'm going to put you on the defensive first here. Was she cleared? Was she vindicated or not by the FBI investigation?
Well, a couple things. First, let's acknowledge this was a mistake for her to do this private email server. She's admitted it. She's apologized for it. She shouldn't have done it. So that's wrong. Number two, now that Comey had some tough words for her on Tuesday that she'll have to deal with in the fall. But the bottom line is, the Republicans were hoping and praying that she'd be indicted, that she'd have to be facing trial and so on and so forth. This now puts it behind her in terms of the looming legal issue. Now, of course, Republicans are still going to use it in the fall. And, But the thing about this whole issue, it's already baked into the polling cake. There's nothing new here. She does have trust issues.
I completely disagree. I don't think this is remotely behind Hillary Clinton. I think the FBI investigation actually made things worse for her because it proved two things. One, she lied, blatantly lied, and two, she put our nation and our national security at risk. And so those are two very disqualifying things for her. At this point in moving forward, I think it's less about the crime and a lot more about the cover-up. Look, I'm a mom, and I know you said she apologized for it, but when my kids do something wrong, they get punished. When Hillary Clinton does something wrong, she asks for a promotion. There shouldn't be one set of rules for the Clintons and another for everybody else. I think this is just the beginning, and I certainly don't think it's baked into the cake, and I think our numbers are going to be very largely affected by this.
Y'all would completely agree on that whole subject there. So as we said, the trust issues were already there for Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump does talk about that in some midweek conversation there, but at the same time, he starts talking about Saddam Hussein. The media picks up on this. He blames the media for picking it up, but the narrative did change when he was handed a layup, Sarah.
Well, I'd hardly say that he didn't address this issue. He talked about this at length and probably spent 50% of his speech on this topic alone, and maybe 3% on other topics, and that's the 3% they weighed in on. To try to compare Donald Trump's week to Hillary Clinton's, if this is what we get all the way to November, I'll take it any single day because she definitely had a much worse week than Donald Trump. He actually had a really good week. He put up great fundraising numbers. He's uniting more and more of the Republican Party as we move into the convention. You've got a lot of people that have been outspoken critics that now want to be speakers at the convention on his behalf. So I think he had an infinitely better week than Hillary Clinton.
Well, I disagree. He didn't, Hillary, I'll talk about Hillary's bad week in a moment, but he didn't have a great week. He has people running away from him saying, don't pick me as the nominee. I'm going to be mowing my lawn instead of going to the Republican National Convention. And the polling numbers show he does not combine the party. But to your point, Roby, the problem with Trump is that his lack of discipline. He started off the week praising Saddam Hussein. You remember this whole, we can't get into it, but the whole Star David tweet, was it wrong or was it not, so on and so forth. But his lack of message discipline, where he goes off on these long rants, this should have been a body blow week for Hillary Clinton. It was a tough week. But because of his campaign and his lack of discipline, it just sort of became a day and a half story, and that just was, frankly, was bad, but nowhere near bad it would have been if Mitt Romney had been in the driver's seat or John McCain.
Let's move to the congressional hearings that took place a little bit later on in the week, too. There could be as many as 6 of them, from everything that I'm reading on this, looking into the FBI investigation that was looking into Hillary Clinton and her email servers. Are the Republicans overplaying their hand on this, or do the Democrats just protest too much?
I definitely think the Democrats protest too much. And particularly when you have an issue and a topic like this that has such a great implication of national security, and the carelessness which Hillary Clinton handled it all. To just let that go with a pop on the hand. Again, actions like this have consequences. She hasn't suffered a single one. Anybody else that would have lied repeatedly in this manner on an issue so serious would be reprimanded in a much bigger way, but not Hillary Clinton.
I'll give you the last word.
The Republicans have a history of overplaying their hands with the Clintons in that they're going to overplay this once again. There's some tough things that Comey said on Tuesday, but by bringing him before the Congress on Thursday, it allowed him to explain it, kind of soften the blow, actually. I think what's going to happen is that they're going to continue, like they did in the 90s, to overplay their hand and actually kind of bring some sympathy for Hillary Clinton.
All right, well, we'll
Crazy
see if
as
it
that
plays
sounds.
out. Hey.
We'll see how it sounds.
Thank you so much for being here, both of you. Sarah,
Thanks,
Michael,
Robbie.
appreciate
Thank
you
you.
both.